Okay, perfect. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. We have a very, very special guest. I'm super excited. I met Allison at the Wedding Salon LA event here in Hollywood, Los Angeles, and amazing. When I heard her story, I was like, no way. She's letting the world plan her wedding using social media tools, using online tactics just to connect with people and get their suggestions. So I kind of wanted to probe a little deeper, see the back end of the story, what led to this really, really cool approach to, having your wedding. And this is your wedding, right?
Right,
Yeah,
indeed. Yep,
yeah,
no one
crazy.
else's. My
That's
wedding
awesome.
and my fiance's wedding too.
Right, right, right. Yeah, he's just there to say I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, tell us a little bit about your story. Your what you do now, and give a little bit of history about who you are, and then the journey into the Plan My Wedding.
Yes. Well, I like to call myself a multimedia journalist.
Mm,
I went to USC, University of Southern California, got my master's degree in print journalism, but also learned how to work on camera and to write scripts for television and to work online. And that was a really fulfilling journey for me. And after graduate school, I got the job as assistant editor at the Los Angeles Times Magazine.
wow.
And I did a lot of style writing. I did some little, I stepped into politics a little bit.
Okay.
I wrote about health and fitness and wellness and helped organize our issues for that. And I really wanted to cross over into online territory
Hmm.
because in the magazine world, as you know, real estate is really limited. So
Right.
why not build upon all of the open space on the web?
Right.
And that's when I started brainstorming some ideas, and Plan My Wedding came along when I really turned the story on myself.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that that's part of a journalist's job, is to recognize a good story when you see or hear one, even if it involves yourself. And in that case, it did.
Yeah.
And I didn't want a traditional wedding planning blog. Here is what I did on day one. Here's what I did on day two. Although those are lovely and there's a spate of those out there, I
Yeah.
wanted mine to be a little bit different.
How did your family feel about you and your idea?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think everybody was a little bit shocked at first,
Right.
and then they realized it was in some ways quintessentially me because um, I I I really have a passion for what I do, and I
Hmm.
really have a passion just for romance, and yeah, I'm a
Mm.
sucker for all of those romantic.
Nice.
But I'm also realistic. So my family, I think they understood where I was going. I just needed to handhold a little bit. And some of my best friends also called an intervention. They said, this is the one time in your
Right.
life that you have for yourself.
What are you doing?
Everything can be truly yours. It's
Right.
enough to have mothers and in-laws have their inject their opinion
Right.
into the wedding planning process. Why open it to the world? So they thought I was borderline crazy, but I think now they're starting to really get into it.
Now, when did you actually notify your closest friends and family when the idea came? Like, so you had the idea. Did you sleep on it for a couple weeks, or were you super nervous, or you just like, nope, I gotta do this. This is the one. The instant you thought of it, how long was that process?
I think it went from the germ straight to knocking on my editor's door saying, I want to do this, and then telling my parents, I'm doing this, and hopefully you'll come along with me. And if
Mm.
not, maybe I'm screwed. Maybe it's a different kind of wedding. But I really just went for it. I brainstormed. I was a little bit concerned telling them, but it's a community effort, and
Yep.
people are going to have opinions, and people have opinions throughout this process. My friends, my mom, and Susie next door, who I've never met, has her opinion, or Mike has his opinion, and that's the best part about this is engaging
Yeah.
everybody.
Now, do you have like a running log so you'll have a question and some pictures, and then you have people leave their comments, and then do you randomly decide, like, do you have a committee that you sit with and say, okay, this is cool, let's consider it? How does that work? That sounds so intriguing.
How I prompt people, you mean, with the questions that I ask them?
Yeah, and then how do you take the feedback and say, okay, this is what I'll use, and this is kind of weird. No, we won't use that.
Well, I made it a point to do my due diligence in planning my own wedding so that I can always have that. That will always be
Right.
sacred to me. But I only plan it to a certain point. So I do my research. I research, for instance, for the bridal gown, I research
Hmm.
many different vendors in the bridal gown market. And I try to go for a range of designers and prices so that I can appeal to very different aesthetics and different socioeconomic status, and really have it be something that is open to the community, that is not so myopic.
Right.
So I will do my best to start off doing my ground research, and then I leave it open to their opinions. And there's been times where on the cake, for instance, it wasn't a vote, but everybody loved the one wedding cake that was chosen, but they hated the bow on top of it.
Mm.
So many people have come back to me writing comments, and in the end, I don't think I'm going to do a bow because there was
Yeah.
such overwhelming response. I love the cake, hate the bow. So, and I've had to do some revotes sometimes as well.
Now, what? Give us a timeline in terms of the actual date when you came up with the idea, and then how many days it's been so far for the people that aren't sure of where you're at in your timeline.
Okay, well, the Plan My Wedding blog started with the LA Times 2 weeks after he proposed.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
the idea came about a week after. It was quick. It was quick. And now, fast forward to 407 days engaged in counting. I actually started the blog with a template of a count up to the wedding versus a
Hmm.
traditional countdown, because at the time I started, I didn't know when my wedding would be taking place because that was one of the votes.
Right. Okay.
When to have my wedding, what month. So it's been about a year and almost 2 months now that I've been blogging and planning and asking for the readers' help.
That's awesome, man. That's so awesome. I know you've been on a few media channels, and it's gotten some press, man. This is really, really unique.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now,
Thank
you mentioned the cake. You mentioned the date. What
Yep.
other things did you have the vote for?
So there was the big one, the wedding gown,
Right.
that raked in the most amount of votes, and the bridesmaids' dresses, the honeymoon.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the color scheme, the theme of the wedding,
Wow.
the dominant color that will be predominant at the wedding.
The
Let's
flowers?
see, the flowers, the centerpieces, indeed.
Dang.
Yeah, we put the bands up for vote. We put the first dance song up for vote.
Nice.
So basically, I mean, the method to the madness is if I have a question or a major decision to be made, I'm gonna ask the readers.
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask you guys out there, and hope to find a great answer.
And you ask on your blog, or do you ask throughout social media as well?
I'd say the main polling system exists on the blog, planmywedding.latimesmagazine.com. However, I will publicize that major vote through Facebook, through Twitter, and then also in conjunction with KTLA Morning News once a month, where I've been really lucky and fortunate to partner with them and go on there to showcase some of the options that we have for the readers and viewers to vote on.
Now, for Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
what's his feedback been? How's his experience been throughout the whole process?
Well, a lot of people just learned more than they already know about him, which is his last name, because he goes by the Fiance on the blog.
Okay.
He's like my Mr. Big, I always say. But he's been absolutely phenomenal. If anything, this process has done so much, but it has really solidified our partnership and the support we have for each other in our creative, personal and professional lives. And I make him blog. If you go back on the blog and look through some of the old posts, you'll see I want the groom to have as much of a role in the wedding. Well, maybe not as much, but I want the groom to own something in the wedding planning process. And I think that they have a voice too. So I wanted him to be able to connect to some of the male readers out there.
Yeah, that's good. Now, how did you guys meet in the first place?
Oh, talk about like social media. We met online.
No.
Yes, we met online, and then we realized that we had all these connections. We went to high school together. He's just years older, so I didn't know him. He's a twin. I'm a twin. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would meet the love of my life online, but it's such a popular arena to date now, and I just feel really fortunate.
Yeah.
So our romance has transpired online, I guess you could say.
That's cool. That's cool. So this fits right in. Yeah. So twins?
Twins.
Really?
Twins.
What's that like?
Wonderful. I always say that being a twin is a huge blessing. It's like growing up with your best friend. But then it's also difficult to separate yourself and become an individual. And he, more than anybody, understands what that's like.
Right.
I tell people, too, that I had to divorce my sister in order to start my relationship with my fiance.
Yeah.
And he understands. We were both living with our twins at the time that we met, and we both moved out from living with them to live together. So, it really helps to have somebody who knows exactly what I'm going through.
Right. Do you have any crazy stories that, like, pranks that you guys pulled on them, and vice versa? Because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm a fraternal twin, so we don't look anything alike.
Okay.
But he is identical, and I always tell people I did not know how I would react to meeting my fiance's twin brother for the first time.
Right.
Because they're so similar, I thought, maybe I'm supposed to be with the other
yeah.
And it was in an instant after meeting him, although he's amazing and great and has a lovely girlfriend, I knew I was right for my fiance.
You just know those things, huh?
He may have pulled a switcheroo on one of the dates. Who knows? I don't know. He must have done well if he did come in.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah.
So what's the future hold for the blog when it's on the day? Are you gonna have special guests from the blog? Are you planning on any of that stuff?
Unfortunately not. Just to maintain privacy.
Yep.
I know it sounds sort of illogical for me to be saying that right now, but for my family's sake, I try to keep them under the radar. However, we're planning on having a spread in the LA Times magazine, either in July, August, or September, with pictures and a reflection on the whole process, as well as KTLA. KTLA announced when I went on last month that they're coming to the wedding. So,
cool.
Yeah, so readers will get to see the centerpieces that they chose,
Nice.
me wearing the dress, the bridal gown that they chose, in earnest after all of their hard work and after all of this, the planning process has transpired, how all of their decisions have been implemented.
You should have a little party for everybody.
Yeah, maybe we could do a little online community party.
Yeah, an online like welcome back from your honeymoon. How was it party?
Yep. I'm indebted to them, to my readers, for opening up my mind to this wonderful experience, and the whole point was to let go a little bit and to keep your eye on the prize, which is finding that person that you will, God willing, spend the rest of your life with. And all the other stuff that goes into wedding planning isn't all that important in the grand scheme of things. marriage is the hard part, and that might be a chapter that I continue to go into in the
Mm.
blogosphere in the future.
Right, right. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
I like to see myself. I like to call myself a guinea pig. You know,
Yeah.
anything I can do to help others through my real life
Yep.
experiences is fulfilling.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Um, was there any sense of I know it's a huge risk, but were you kind of scared when you came out, or either beginning or during the process, like maybe this wasn't a good idea? Was there a time like that?
Yeah, definitely. It was scary. It was scary because I didn't know if I would have any regrets. It's not like the Today Show. They have kind of a similar contest on the Today Show, for
Hmm.
instance. Wedding couples apply to be part of this search to grant a couple the wedding of their dreams, and
Mm.
the viewers sort of track their journey and vote on things. But this was totally a self-willed move,
Right.
and it's I didn't enter into a contest. The wedding isn't paid for,
Hmm.
and I it's hard not to listen to your core group of friends and family who are they were just really worried that I would regret not being able to wear the
Your
dress,
dream dress,
my
yeah.
dream dress that I only get to wear one time in
Yeah.
my life. What happens if and that did happen. I mean, I never thought I would fall in love with a dress. Uh,
Mm.
and I did. And I was confronted with this. I had a little predicament because
Hmm.
I wanted to maintain my integrity. I wanted the viewers and readers to vote for the dress, but I also wanted to be honest. And in
Hmm.
the end, I told them that, hey, I found this dress that I love, but I still want and depend on your votes. So vote away. I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know. And I think that in the end, all of my readers want me to be happy,
Yep.
and I'm really grateful that they still believe in love and romance, regardless of how you go about doing it. So yeah,
That's good. That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever think, growing up, that you would have that one opportunity to plan it? Was that something coveted growing up?
That's a good question, and I think that factored into to the creation and the
Right.
genesis of the entire blog, because I'm not that girl who was born knowing what
Right.
they wanted at their
Yeah.
wedding. I just wasn't. And kudos, and I love the girls who are. It's amazing for them when they finally get to see this lifelong dream
Right.
fulfilled. But for me, I needed as much help as the next person. I was
Mm.
completely clueless, and it was more important for me to find that person than to have the perfect wedding. So,
Mm. Good
so
point.
yeah, so I think it was easier for me to embrace this idea, this plan
Yeah. That's a
idea.
very good point. Yeah, the
Yeah,
relationship. Yeah, with the
yep,
person.
yep. With the
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, with the person, not the planning.
Yes, not the things, not the bells and whistles. Although it's very nice and wonderful. It can be really overwhelming, and but some people they just know
Yeah.
even before they're engaged. I've talked to planners who say that women come by with their mothers to view a property even before they've gotten engaged.
Wow.
So you have brides to be of all different stripes, and I'm just another one, and trying to make my mark on other brides, trying to get them to focus on what's important and
Mm.
to have fun in this
Hmm.
process, which can be oftentimes stressful. So I hope I accomplish that.
Yeah, I guess that's the overarching message is, embrace the opportunity, but it's really about the actual marriage.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Married?
Yes, yeah.
So isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's like almost when you graduate from college, it's such a yeah, it's such a wonderful proposition getting into the workforce, but then you feel like you were so unprepared at the same time. I just want to make that segue a little bit easier in whatever I do next, and have people be maybe just as excited about the marriage as they are about the wedding and the planning.
Yeah. Yeah, I know
Because
one thing.
if they put that much effort into their marriage, we'd have less divorce rates.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows?
Yeah, that's good. I know one thing that intrigued me when I heard about the concept, and I thought about the guy. I was like, man, I wonder how he feels, because I know when we were getting married, the only thing I was responsible for was picking the cake up the day of and
Okay.
delivering it safely. And I almost screwed that up, man. That was almost my head. Man, I thought, yeah, but it was cool.
I know. I think that that actually, did you get to taste the cakes even?
Did On the tasting, yeah, before we didn't have during the yeah.
Yeah, but you got to taste. I
Yeah.
think that part is what the grooms love the most, is the
Yeah.
cake tasting,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
That
yummy
part
stuff.
they're excited about. That and the music, I think. But I'm glad that you were able to get that done. Because
Yeah.
it could have been your wife may have not let you go on that one if you didn't manage to get the cake
No.
there.
No, yeah, it was gonna be a disaster with the traffic, and I had a guy in the back seat holding a couple cakes. Like, come on, man. Yeah.
But see, hey, it's memories. You'll remember
Right,
that forever.
right,
And it could
absolutely.
have been worse. You could have actually forgotten the cake or forgotten the wedding bands or something. But
Oh.
it's bound. Something is bound to happen throughout. And that's on my other point. Something is
Mhm,
bound to happen throughout the planning process that does not go your way
mhm,
or the way you had envisioned it, either throughout the planning process,
mhm.
based on maybe somebody else's opinion that really upsets you, or something that happens unexpected at the actual wedding.
Mhm.
And you just gotta ride with it, because
Yeah,
you have to focus on that person and keep thinking about that person,
yeah,
because it's rare that a wedding goes off without a hitch.
yeah, and it's okay if it does happen. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. It is okay. Even better, you'll have those
right.
memories.
Yeah,
You'll
good stories to talk about.
exactly make fun of it, bring some levity to the situation.
Right. Good. Last question. Thanks so much again.
Of
What's
course.
a day a day in the life of Allison? You know, with all the writing and the preparation, and when is the date as well?
Well, I can tell you this. The readers voted for the month of May, so obviously we're in May. I'm concealing the actual date, so you'll know as soon as it's transpired.
Mm,
But I can tell you that it's any day now.
really?
Yes.
Oh man, this is awesome.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, thanks, for taking the time out during the May, the busy May,
Yes.
unexpected day. So I
Oh yes.
appreciate it.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. This is a prime time. I'm really appreciative for the career that I fell
Hmm.
into. It's a big pleasure to be able to gain knowledge from diverse people
Yeah.
and share that knowledge with other people, and it's I've changed the course of what I do a little bit through the process of Plan
Hmm.
My Wedding, and it's been really fulfilling to have people look at me not only as a once clueless bride leaving the
Hmm.
decisions up to everybody else in the world, but an expert who now knows what it's like and who can help anybody else out there
Hmm.
with real life questions. I mean, I'm here, baby. I am here for
Yeah.
anybody out there who's having trouble, because I've been through it. I understand, and I want to help keep people level headed
Yeah.
and joyous through this whole process.
Yeah, and love the marriage.
Yes.
Love the marriage. Well, good. Could you give the viewers where they can find you, they can follow you
Yes.
online?
Yes. Well, they can go to planmywedding.latimesmagazine.com and trace the whole history of Plan My Wedding from the engagement video. The video he made
Hmm.
for me when he proposed is up on the
Nice.
blog. And on Twitter, I'm at PlanMyWeddingLA. On Facebook, I'm at Plan My Wedding. And yeah, I will be. The blog may kind of have lived it stays, but I will still be tweeting and
Hmm.
Facebooking away so everybody can keep updated that way.
Yeah, and it might be now married.la times, lamagazine.com.
All right, plan my life,
Right.
right? Right?
Yeah, plan for the kids.
Plan the gender of my baby, plan the baby
Right.
names, plan where we live, plan it. Why not? Why not
Right.
throw it all in there?
Right. Cool. Well, thanks again so much, Allison. This
Thank
is
you,
awesome. It
Rob.
was
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, good background story, and I'll definitely let you know when this goes up. But we'll be
Absolutely.
following. We'll be following every step of the way this month.
Thank you.
Yeah, rooting for
Please
you.
call. Yes, thank you so much.
Cool. Okay. Appreciate you.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.